Hi, this is our project. I worked with Eddie Chiu, and I'm Pranav Konijeti. And our idea for the project was to use the baseline the rubric gave, but we changed a couple things around. Our first change was the characters.text. We made new characters. Um, those were our new characters. We also changed around their stats a bit. So they're more heavy to one stat than another. Uh, Another thing we changed was the random events. We added a couple and changed them around. So we actually have 8 events. And finally, we completely changed each riddle in the riddles.txt file. Um, so yeah, those were the three main things we changed. But other than that, we also did some of the extra credit, like the multiplayer implementation. Speaking of implementation, the way we approached this kind of was that we each would do a part of the project separately, and then we'd convene together and kind of mesh together the two aspects, and then we'd keep doing that until we finish the project. So one aspect I worked on was the board display. The board was a bit difficult to use because we had a we got the code directly from you guys, but so I had to figure out how it worked and how to change it because it didn't really support multiplayer, so I had to go through it and just change a few things around so that it could take in more than one player. We also did our random events in the board. So whenever a event happened, it would be directly in the board. And we actually made a new class for that, random events class, because we figured it would be a lot more efficient. We also included the riddles in the random events class. That The player we mostly kept unchanged. There was a couple of different things, but we mostly just kept it the same, just making sure that the multiplayer with more than 2 people would work together with the board.
I'm Eddie, and I worked on mainly like the driver and the library type for the CPP. For the library, the main things we added were just like the basic functions, such as like the split function or like a spinner, and like just printing and running the menu. So just like running the game overall. Um, for a player, we didn't change that many things, as previously mentioned. I guess we added like our own functions for each path that we chose, so like cub training or pridelands. Um, and then mainly for the driver, this was like the most complicated part because this is where we had to put everything together and make sure our code worked together. So we added a lot of different, vectors and functions for that, and just making sure that the game ran the way that it intended. And that's mostly the things that we did. And we're now going to do like a game demonstration. So let me compile and run everything. So it would start off with the welcome to Game of Life, and it would ask for the number of players between 2 and 5, because we did a group project, so it'd have to have more than 2 players. So for this instance, let's just choose like 3, just to show that it works. So player 1, we just name player 1. They would ask you for your name, and it would display that's each player, each character that we can play as. And so whenever we choose a character, it would remove them from the list. So in this case, we chose Ren, and so for player 2, Ren wouldn't show up. So that works. So for player 3, so now Mog or Ren wouldn't show up. So let's choose Mel here. And then here it would ask you to go to which path you want to embark on. So you're just choosing 1 or 2. So we'd just go 1 here and then 2 here. Choosing your advisor, choosing your number. If the same thing as choosing your character. If you choose your advisor, then it would also be taken away from the list. So we chose Nala here, or Sarabi, not Nala. Then Sarabi would be gone from the list. So, and we can't choose them again because it's already been chosen by another player.
So now the boards have been displayed. You can see each menu option. There's player progress check. There's a review character. There's check position. You can review your advisor. Um, yeah, and then of course you can move. So it'll go through each player, and a random event might happen or a special event depending on the tile. So like this one, it was a peaceful oasis tile, so they gained 200, 200, 200. And because it's a peaceful oasis, they'll have an extra turn. So yeah, you can try it again. So like we kind of just skipped over this part because it took a while to get to the end of the game, but once they reach the end of the game, it'll stop the game, and then it will uh, give a leaderboard of the pride point totals, uh, which are calculated with the leadership traits in mind, and then it'll display the winners. We have several winners in case that there's ties, but in this case, only player 3 won, so he won. Yeah, thank you.